hate puppies. Good podcast.
I feel threatened.
I didn't hear it.
Hello?
Nope, it's
Nope.
us. It's just us then.
Again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Pallet House, the only podcast dedicated to solving first world problems and hopefully helping you figure out what beer you should be drinking this weekend. Hashtag adulting, right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
And what vinyl you should be listening to.
Oh, man, Mr. Vinyl.
That's me.
Were you frustrated that on the write-up this week, I came at you and we mostly talked about your vinyl?
I loved it. I was surprised to see
good,
it. Yeah.
good. Well, I thought it was the biggest twist.
I still stand by all my anti-vinyl takes. But
you also get the cool factor.
yeah, I mean, I want to. I'm trying to come around.
It's never going to be like as convenient as streaming. It's just not.
No.
But it's something different.
For me, with my hearing aids and being able to listen to podcasts and music whenever I want, like it's not only is it more of an inconvenience, it's a huge inconvenience. Like,
Yeah.
because I can go about and cut the grass and wash dishes and do many other things while
No,
listening
you have
to
to
stuff.
sit down and do it.
Yeah, and
It's the difference between a book on tape and a book.
yeah. Yeah.
It's like you have to just do it.
Yep. But I tell you, the best part for me that I've enjoyed is because it was a gift from my younger son, the one I don't get to spend as much time doing stuff with. We went together and went shopping to, Plan 9 and bought some records together. Spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours, like in the record store, just tooling
Bonding.
around and just, check this one out. Like,
There you go.
so it was pretty cool. And I mean, he picked up the record of all records. That was his choice.
Dude, I saw that. He got Thriller, right?
He got Thriller. And
nice.
I was happy because it was $20. Everything I got was 12 and under, mostly around $4, $5.
You bought used, and they still probably keep making.
Well, I mean,
Thriller.
the Thriller was used.
That's just the best.
Yeah.
And I've got it.
It was cool because most of the records I bought were from the 70s and 80s. So it was like going through the liner notes and stuff. Like the Thriller one had like a fan club that you could like sign up for and mail in. Like,
Oh,
it was like, how cool is that? You forget how cool that stuff was like back in the day.
that was the only way to like have any information about your thing that you were into,
Yeah,
whether it was a band or like
Yep.
anything.
Yeah.
I remember I was like in the Nintendo fan club.
Yep.
I'd get that magazine. I'd be like, oh, there's all the tricks.
Yep.
And like fan club was the only way to find out like, hey, this is what's going on in this
Yeah.
person's life. Because if the DJ didn't tell you it,
Yeah.
it didn't exist.
No.
There's no internet.
Nope.
Fan clubs. Oh my gosh.
It was, and like you'd see them in the back of comic books and stuff where you could send off
Yeah.
for free stuff or, whatever.
You a member of any fan clubs to date?
Today, no.
I think technically, I've signed up, still a member of the Pearl Jam 10 Club and the Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah, I was a
Just
member of
'cause
the
they were
Warehouse for a long time.
old enough that like I've got to still be active.
Yeah.
Like I must have a.
Don't you? You'd have to pay yearly dues, though.
Oh, then I'm not active on either of them.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was free.
Well, maybe they were. That could have been. Yeah, they might have been free. I feel like I paid for my Warehouse membership for a while because I would get like
The CD
and like a keychain and a sticker and like.
Yeah, it was cool stuff. I guess technically I'm in the Taylor Swift fan club right now.
Yeah, you're a Swiftie.
I mean, I'm not a Swiftie, but I am definitely Swiftie adjacent.
Yeah.
Like, I do believe she's kind of badass. And I think, look, she's fucking nuts. And I like a crazy girl.
Look, I've liked her stuff since she came out. Have we talked about this whole Taylor Swift thing yet on here?
I know we've talked about it.
I'm just surprised. Like, one, I've always liked her stuff. She's a great singer-songwriter, and she writes her own stuff and plays her own instruments. To guys like you and me, that's
important.
That's important.
Yeah.
Her stuff's catchy as shit, right? Like, you gotta like it.
And everything she puts out, she can just drop
Oh, yeah.
song after song.
But
It's
I
catchy.
am really surprised by the number of people that I know personally that have paid multiple thousands of dollars to go to a concert Like, I just can't wrap my head around it.
So you're going to hate this. So my daughter was dying to go to Taylor. You know,
Older or younger?
Older. Has been losing her mind trying to get to this thing. And she's been doing this thing where she'll get up at like 4 a.m. and start hitting refresh on Ticketmaster on the day of shows. Because there's all these people who are TikToking like,
yeah,
I did it and I got tickets. And I'm trying to explain to her, I'm like, there's also 10,000 people who didn't.
Yeah.
You're getting the person who's then putting it out there that they did. So like, that's not the norm.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, that's bullshit. That's the norm.
You don't know anything, old man.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well then this is how you learn disappointment. So please get up at 4. And I give her my credit card. I'm like, here's my credit card. You have a $250 a ticket limit. And if they pop, because at face value, you know, you can get.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you go to Ticketmaster, you do it. If it happens, you wake me up and you tell me that you spent up to $1,000 for all 4 of us to go.
Yeah.
I'll get in the car.
Yeah.
We'll go. We'll make it to that show.
I'd pay. I would be down to do that if my kids were so inclined.
Yeah. So I'm like,
I would come off $1,000 for 4 tickets.
I mean, yeah, that's my logic. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can do that. But I'm looking at these tickets in the resale market.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
So to get a seat that I would actually want to pay, because once you get to a certain point, once you're like, I'm going to spend $1,000, you may as well spend $2,000 and get a seat that's dope. Because if $1,000 for a nosebleed seat is just ignorant.
Yeah.
So in my head, I've been rolling it around.
You're timesing it by 4.
Yeah, and that's the problem. So
Yeah.
like, say,
because spending $4,000 is different than spending 8.
yeah, well, the average ticket has been going around $2,500 for like average seats.
Yeah.
So I was trying to explain it to her. I was like, that's $10,000
Yeah.
for our family to go see Taylor Swift. And that doesn't include
Hotel,
getting there,
Yeah.
all the things. That's just $10,000 entry.
Yeah, because it could be in Denver or somewhere, you know, it could be somewhere not even drivable.
Oh, so then it's a whole nother
Yeah.
nightmare of a scenario. So I told my daughter, I said, look, there's a European tour coming out. We're going to sign up. We're in the fan club now.
Yeah.
So we get the early. It's like, because the reality is, if one of these shows pops next summer, because that's when it'll be next summer when she's doing the Eras tour in Europe. It's like, I can fly us all to Europe,
Yeah.
spend a whole week
Having a
bouncing
blast.
around Europe,
Yeah.
and go to the Taylor show if we get them at face value for less than it would have cost me to
For
get the
one
tickets
show.
and go
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, so I would far rather actually just invest. So we looked through and she's like, okay, I'm down for Dublin.
Yeah.
I'm down for Milan, Italy. Like, we just kind of picked and choose. And the secret thing that I didn't really explain to her was I chose specifically like the July dates because the Tour de France will be happening in France.
Nice.
And that's a bucket list thing for me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
if I can get to Europe, get something to make them happy, drag their ass to a stage of the Tour de France.
Yeah.
I've never been to France, so I could like see it.
Well, they'll have fun too.
Isn't that interesting that I say Tour de France, but then I say France like
Yeah.
a damn American?
But you've always heard Tour de France.
Yeah, but
You never hear Tour de France.
But wouldn't it be France then instead of France? Like, if they all call it the Tour de France, then it's France. It's not France. It just occurred to me like in real time.
Yeah, but that's no, you're
logical.
It's logical, but like that's with an accent. So you're going English to like an accent to. I mean, it's like everything we say Americanized, right? Like tacos or quesadillas or something. Like there's a better way to say that.
I'm just all right. So I'm setting it up because I've never been to France.
There you go.
And I'd like to go to France.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to say it from now on.
There you go. You sound cool when you do it that way.
France?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Great. I don't know if you're mocking me or not. That kind of breaks my heart. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But so that was my logic. If I can spend 10 grand, I could probably get away with this for even less.
Yeah.
Fly our asses all the way to Europe.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be like, we'll call it between $500 and $800 a ticket just to fly there.
Yeah.
So
let's say $2,000, $2,000 to $3,000.
So now I'm $2,000 in. I'm getting tickets at face value.
So $1,000. So
not even that. Like, I'll probably get a little less. All right, yeah, but let's say $1,000. Let's go high end, right?
yeah,
So now I'm
$1,000 for 4 is what I'm.
yeah. So now I'm $3,000 into this. I've got Taylor tickets, and I'm in another country. Now I'm starting to work into.
You're not in Cleveland.
Fuck Cleveland. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're in Milan.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're in Dublin. Like,
Oh, you went to the Eras tour? That's cool. Where'd you go? We were in Dallas Fort Worth. Where did you see her?
Yeah, Milan. Like it just
Is that in
makes
Kentucky?
sense.
What?
No, that's Milan.
Yeah.
But that's the new plan that I've hatched.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because then I have a whole year to like build up to it, come up with itineraries, plan it. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull like I did when I went to Italy. The first thing I had was Pearl Jam tickets. Then I built the trip around it.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg. I just bought tickets from the venue.
I'm just surprised with the amount of people that are willing to pay over $1,000 to go to a show. Like, you could have seen her for the past 10 years. She's been kicking ass this whole time. I didn't know. You never heard anyone like falling in love with her. And then it's like, this tour is the tour. And they're acting like it's going to be the last tour.
It's certainly not.
No, she's 28 or something. I don't even know. Like 30.
It's because the concept. The concept's dope.
What's the? I don't even. Maybe I'm ill-informed. What's the concept?
So usually she goes and
I know it's a big
supports
show. It's like a 2.5 hour show.
So usually she goes and supports the latest album. Like it's like the Love tour, whatever that may be. It's like she goes.
Yeah,
out
like
and-
everyone does.
yeah. But the Eras tour,
Is all of her stuff?
she's playing like 2 songs from the first album, 2 songs from the second album, 2 songs from the third album. So you're getting to watch her go through her whole career. So when she comes
Yeah,
out,
but doesn't everyone play their hits and the new stuff? I mean,
this is a production, Troy.
I understand it because look, I did pay. I think I paid $300 a ticket to take the wife to see Pink, and I mean it was a whole production. So I understand what goes into it, and I go to concerts and I've been
But that's
backstage,
still like
so I understand it.
around. She's mostly going to play the new stuff, but then she plays the old stuff. This is like legitimately going back and making sure she hits from every single album. So it's a cool concept, but it worked.
Yeah.
Because the whole damn country lost their mind and the
Yeah.
whole world lost their mind.
Yeah, it's just so weird to me. Like
It is.
I've never known. I feel like I never heard anyone talk about how they had to see Taylor Swift. Now it's like my life will end if I don't see this tour. Wait, what?
Yeah, I've always been like, I've always told the girls like, oh yeah, I mean, if she ever comes to town, like clearly
Yeah.
we should go.
Yeah.
like I'd like to see her.
Yeah,
Now
because
the
when you
fervor.
have 2 girls, like of all the tours you could be dragged to, it'd be like, yeah, I'll go watch
Yeah,
Taylor
thank
Swift
God.
do her kick-ass pop songs that I like to sing in the car to. Like
But everybody likes.
yeah,
But the Eras tour took on a whole different thing. I mean, it's like a seismic shift
Yeah.
in the music landscape. It's been intense to watch how much people are spending and how crazy they are.
it is
about
wild.
It's probably the biggest tour that we've ever seen occur.
It's got to be, right? I mean, I feel like even when like the Eagles got back together, Fleetwood Mac or Rolling Stones, like no one cared like this.
No.
Like this is a whole nother level.
I remember when Guns N' Roses got back together, I was like, that's a really big deal. I'm excited to see it. I didn't go.
No, yeah.
Even I'm kind of like, I kind of gotta get to that Eras tour. That seems like that's pretty intense. It's weird.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, I'm not the one because I don't like to spend that kind of money on that kind of stuff anyway. But
No, but if you could get face value $100 tickets, you'd go.
yeah, or a couple $100. I don't know. It's just when you're talking about $1,000 to sit in the nosebleed seat, I'm like,
Yeah.
do you understand? Like, you could buy all the albums. Like, you could probably buy a couple autograph versions. You could buy, I don't know how many shirts. You could get cutouts. Like, for $1,000, you could have a Taylor Swift room.
For 10
Like,
grand, I got a fighting chance of getting a hand job from Taylor Swift. That would have to go all the way back to her early days, when she'd still do that.
Not too early.
No, like the John Mayer days.
Yeah.
You know, like when he was in there, like that was,
Yeah, and then you'd have a song written about you.
yeah. We called biggest dick I ever saw in my little hands.
She catches a lot of shit for writing about her exes, but I mean,
Well, she's nuts. You know, there's a certain point where she has to recognize the fact that maybe she's the fucking problem.
well, there's that. But like, any dude that dates her at this point should know better. And 2, how could you not be nuts when you're a superstar at 14 or 15 and
Yeah, I wasn't going back that
Crushing-
far for the record.
yeah, I know, but I'm saying like she's been top of the charts for how long? Like We know, look, history shows this kind of fame fucks you up.
It definitely tweaks the brain.
How could it not? And how could it not?
I don't blame her.
No.
But I also think that she was an emotional, kind of crazy son of a bitch back in the day. I think she was always built that way.
Yeah,
and then
because
it's been exacerbated by fame.
Well, she has to be, right? Because how do you come up with those songs, in 10 minutes in your bedroom? Like, you're some sort of on the spectrum genius where it's like, you're just a savant or something.
And being able to pour out all that emotion, all that craziness.
Yeah, I mean, we're dudes. We can't come up with that kind of emotion, Like, it's hard for us.
It depends on how good the burger was.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been working on a song about this brisket I had. And it's so...
She dates a guy for 3 months and can just pour her guts out onto a music sheet and make a hit. Like,
yeah,
it's not really how we operate.
I was listening to a song. I was in a gym this morning and I was playing just some random workout mix, and they played some late 80s, early 90s kind of heavy metal song. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna let this go. And the lyrics in it were hilarious. The guy was singing about how, we don't need any cocaine. We just need to get in the dark and make some friction. And then the whole chorus was about get that friction. Nice. And I was like, okay, yeah. This is the emotional level that this guy made it to. He's like, I don't even have to do coke tonight. I just need to turn off the light and get that friction. And I was like, okay, yeah,
and that's where we top out at.
Yeah, it's about the emotional depth that this gentleman had.
All leads back to the amount of friction you can create.
Yeah, and I love that he actually had the line in there where he's like, we don't even need to do cocaine. Nope. I'm like, wow, what a lover.
I'm so into you, babe.
Yeah, wow. For the next 3 hours, I'm not doing any blow.
And what woman would be swept off her feet when you just say to her, I just want to make friction.
I just want to make some friction. Yeah. Just need that. We're going to turn out the lights. We're just going to focus on friction.
Yeah.
No blow. What a hero.
Yeah. I'm laying off the booger sugar tonight, babe.
Just for you.
Just for you.
Because I want to get high off friction.
Tonight, it's all about friction.
I was impressed. I was like, these are pretty good lyrics. It was a good way to start my day. It was 7 a.m.
And you just put up a bunch of weight.
Just throwing weight around. How
could you not?
Yeah. Well, I was in a weird place. So I've been in Atlanta all week for work.
Yeah.
And I went to a new hotel. Something I hadn't tried before.
How does that work for you? You can pick your hotel up to a certain price, or
that's exactly it. It's $300 a night is my limit.
But you can go over if you pay for it.
Oh, you can go over in New York the limit's much higher. But you can go over, then you have to give excuses, and then I gotta deal with the bureaucratic bullshit. So it's there's no value in it.
Yes.
I'll just there's plenty out there at $279.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
And a lot of places, if you call and talk to them and you're like,
oh, I have to book it through the special portal. It's a whole thing. But I was looking, and I'd heard about this new Moxie hotel downtown that's supposed to be all kind of minimalist.
They're coming up with weird hotels and weird names for hotels now.
Yeah, and this is all. So I try to only say it Marriott and Hilton, but underneath the umbrella of those two is a huge swath of hotels. So this is under the Marriott brand, and now they have a new line called the Moxie, and it's all very hip, very minimalist. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna check out this Moxie, because I know we have one here in Richmond. I haven't had a chance to check it out. So
where's the one here?
It's right by Penny Lane Pub.
Okay. Literally, so it's downtown.
Yeah, it's across the street from the pub. And I remember Terrence telling me, he's like, I can't believe we got a Moxie. He's like, that is a drinking hotel. And it kind of piqued my interest. I was like, that's weird. He specifically said
there's a hotel for drinking. I never would have pieced that together.
It's just that's their vibe.
Yeah.
We're hanging. So when everything was sold out and I saw that there was a Moxie close to my meetings, I was like, I'll try the Moxie. See what this is all about. So I get there. I walk in, and there is no front desk.
Interesting.
There's a sign over the bar that says check-in. the bartender checks you in.
Wild.
So the person who's actually serving beers is also double dutying as the check-in person.
Smart.
So yeah, they're saving money.
Yeah, they're like, we're cutting things out here we don't need.
That should have been my first sign, though, that this place was kind of fucked in the head. Like,
yeah,
because now you're getting bad bartender service and you're getting bad front desk service. So it's like, because they're double dutying, you know. But as soon as I walk in, it's like foosball tables everywhere, pool tables. Like, it's all about hanging out. Like a hostel sounds like, right? Like, it's kind of got that vibe, except with a lot of like purple neon. So they're definitely trying.
It's got moxie.
It's got a lot of moxie. And so I walk in there, and then the first thing you notice, though, is like if it's all like pool tables and foosball tables and shit like that, I was like, oh, it's a dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, women aren't like, oh, yes, foosball. And I did even come back one night, and like I walked in after you know we'd had to go out and do dinner and everything. And I come back in, and I'll be damned if it wasn't 40 dudes all playing games.
Yeah,
just foosball and pool and just guys. So like whatever conference was in town, like all the women are like, we're going to bed, and all the guys are like, we should go out, and they make it out of the elevator and go, or just stay here because look at all these games. And that's basically it. It's got giant Connect 4s and everything.
Yeah. How were the rooms?
Minimalist.
I stayed in one of those minimalist rooms in Blacksburg.
Okay.
And it was the size of a very small dorm room. And it had a king bed in it that you could barely walk around. And it had like a 80-inch TV on it.
Yeah, that's okay. So,
But it didn't have like, and it had like a floating desk / shelf with like coat hooks, no closet. Like,
no closet. I didn't have a closet.
No fridge, no microwave,
No fridge,
like a
no
padded
microwave.
bench. It was literally like a dorm room.
Yeah, this was a little bigger than a dorm room, and like the bathroom was nice.
Yeah.
But like weird shit. Like no iron.
Yep. No iron.
But they have an ironing room that's open 24/7. So it's like a communal ironing room. There's a bunch of irons.
Which makes a lot of sense because not every room needs an iron. But also, you iron in your underwear normally, like us dudes do. Like
That's how I did it. I went down there in my underwear, a communal iron. No, but they did give a steamer.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is interesting. They still had the ironing room, but then they give you a steamer, which I couldn't quite figure out. It was. I mean, I kind of got all my clothes done. It was good enough. But then there's no closet. There's just hooks.
Yep.
And even the hooks had like, basically like a T-bar with a leather strap that you just kind of throw your shirt on and like then you flip it over the hook. I was like, this is some minimalist shit. And then my computer, every time I tried to connect to the internet, was like, yo, don't
do this one.
Yeah, and my computer's kind of like buttoned up because it's the work computer.
Yeah.
And every time I tried to log on, it was like, don't do anything on this. Like
they're like, there's like 100 bros on here doing God knows what.
And they're tracking all your shit,
Yeah.
you know? But then they did have like a 6th floor rooftop kind of pool with
Nice.
a bar. So there were a lot of dudes hanging out there. It's like this place just pulls dudes.
So you were loving it.
I was having a blast. Pterodactyl time for me. Yeah,
Little slalom skiing.
I'm so sore. I'm so sore. No, yeah, it's just dude fest. And,
Yeah.
But then the gym definitely has all kinds of stuff in it. But I thought the craziest thing in there, they had like Peloton machines, but then they had like an old hipster bike that had like the front wheel clamped down.
Oh,
and,
nice.
like just a roller on the back. So you could actually like ride a bike.
Oh, wow. Like an old fixie just up on
That's
stilts
exactly
on the
what it
back?
was. And then like you go down and you can make it harder to ride.
Yeah, just the tension on it.
But it's like, it's weird stuff like that, like all throughout the hotel where I'm like, okay.
That is weird.
So I actually rode a hipster bike and I never ride bikes, but like, except for on Sundays,
Yeah.
my thing. But so I got in there and I was like, well, I'm not going to not get on this hipster bike. So I rode a hipster bike.
Peloton's got to be taking a bath now, right?
No, they're killing it.
They are?
They're killing it.
Still.
And every I know so many guys and girls who won't stay at a hotel if it doesn't have Pelotons, who they treat these people who do the things like They are rock stars.
Yeah.
These leaders of these Peloton groups are literal rock stars.
We are such a stupid people.
We love them.
Stationary bikes have been around for 75 years.
It's the talent on the other end of that screen.
I know, but still, like, you're still riding a stationary bike. Like,
I get it, but like my wife has like 2 gals and 2 guys, and like those are the only people she rides with.
oh, do y'all have one?
No, but like when we go somewhere,
Oh, okay.
she's always doing it, and then she'll
Do
even
gyms have them now?
yeah,
So, like, they have a Peloton section.
oftentimes. But my wife will actually just like our gym doesn't, and she'll bring her phone, has the Peloton app that she pays for.
Oh, yeah.
So she can ride with that person on whatever bike they have.
That's kind of genius.
Yeah, that's how. Like my wife's, she follows these people like they're philosophers.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on
I've
what
heard
kind
about
of
that,
mood
yeah.
she's in, she's like, I need someone who's going to bring me up, or I need someone who's going to be introspective. It's like her church.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I know way too many people that treat it like this. And then when you get Peloton people talking, they're like vegans or CrossFitters.
Yeah.
They talk, but then they all talk about who's your person.
Oh,
And then it's
I've seen them argue over it.
yeah, because they have there's like factions within that world, and they're like, oh, I'm a Toby person. I can't believe that you ride with Sean.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. It's amazing to me. There's a whole universe around this Peloton stuff. So yeah, they
Humans are weird.
We're craving, connection. We're just craving it.
And like people to tell us what to do.
Yeah, you know that guy, Chad Dukes we listened to?
Yeah.
He's become a Peloton.
I know.
And he's got his people.
Yeah.
He talks about how he sometimes cries on
And
the
he's
bike.
morbidly obese.
And he's a meathead dumbass.
Yeah.
And he's crying because this guy inspired him so much. I'm
Yeah.
like, what is happening to
And he
our
would like
culture?
mock somebody for that.
Oh, 5 years
normally.
ago?
Yeah.
No, but now he's like, oh, I'm Team Pete.
Yeah.
The hell is happening? So I don't.
Does it
feel
interest you? Have you ever done one and taken like the Peloton? Have you ever watched one of these people? It doesn't interest me.
I rode one once with my wife at we were up at some resort somewhere, and they had one, and I rode it for a little bit, and I was like, I ended up changing the channel after a little bit, and then just rode through like France.
Yeah, France.
France, fuck. So American. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, because I remember back when I was hitting the gym all the time, they did have bikes that had like computers on them where you could like pick different courses and the resistance would go up and down and you'd be riding through somewhere.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's more my speed, but yeah, because I'm in my own head. I'm over here like hyping myself up. I'm breaking down
listening to my own music.
Yeah. So that's fine with me. But I'm not craving that attention. I don't need church like that. Like I got my own relationship. It's very odd.
It is odd.
So went to the Moxie though.
And
it was weird. But so if you know me, I've got a place in Atlanta that I am a diehard homer for.
Speaking of church.
That is that kind of that's my burger church.
Yeah.
So there's a place
like you go down there, you stop there every time you're in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. There's a place called the Vortex Burger, and it's got to be one of the absolute coolest places I've ever seen. Like, there's so much tchotchke bullshit on all the walls, but it's unabashedly a bar. Like, no one allowed in under 21. It's like you can't even take a kid there to have a burger.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's 21 and over.
Even daytime hours?
All hours.
Wow.
21 and over. Because, like, there's pictures on the wall with, like, titties. Stuff. Like, this is a grown-up place.
Yeah. You don't see many places like that.
No. I love that about it. Mm-hmm. It's like, this isn't for kids. There's cursing in here. There's drinking. And there's burgers. I mean, good-ass burgers.
I do miss bars being bars.
It's a bar. You can't smoke in it.
Hooters isn't even a bar anymore.
There's always kids in Hooters.
It's wild.
Crazy. Some of them still in the Hooters waitress.
Future employees.
Yes.
I seriously know people that take their families to Hooters on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
Young kids. Young.
Absolutely.
And boys and girls. And I'm just like,
no, people love Hooters. It's a family restaurant now.
Is it?
But in their minds,
Because I don't think it is.
No, but that's because we came up in the 80s.
Well, I know they cleaned
risque.
it up a lot, but like it's still like they're still sexualized.
No. They get a choice between outfits. Either your ass is hanging out or your tits are hanging
Yeah.
out. You have a choice, Troy. A choice.
Can it be both?
Yeah. I know I tip better when it's both. That's a fact. Yeah, and don't give me someone with a name like Jenny. I want Candy.
Yeah. It's got to have an eye at the end.
Yeah. Unless it's Mercedes. She's okay too.
Or any car.
Yeah, just about any car.
Lexus.
Pinto.
Yeah.
Maybe not Pinto.
No.
You hit her in the rear and then it
Explodes. Yeah, well, checks out.
There's a 70s joke for you. So, but I make a pilgrimage to the Vortex like every time because I just love that their burgers are unabashedly burgers, and they're like, and the place is crazy. You know, it's a good vibe, and they do. I've never had the same burger twice. Like it's like kind of on principle. I've had Hawaiian burgers, which is just weird.
So they have like multiple varieties of burgers.
Absolutely. Even if you're a smash burger guy, you can do 2 smash patties, or if you're a big thick burger guy, you get the thick burgers. I like a thick burger. Some people get the smash patties. I like that you can mix it up. They got tater tots or French fries, depending on what you want. They got funnel cake fries. They literally dip the fries in the funnel cake crap and fry it.
Oh, wow.
Like, get loose, which actually are not as good as they sound, like, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like funnel cake's delicious, fries are delicious.
Let them be separate.
Yeah, but you think adding 2 delicious things together, not necessarily true.
No, let them be separate.
Yes.
They can be mutually exclusive and still be great.
Yes.
You don't have to put everything together. But like, so like I've had burgers there that were like pineapple with cream cheese, which sounds weird, but amazing.
Yeah.
I've had the Fat Elvis, which has like
the banana and peanut butter
on it. Yeah. And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like this time I got the 4 Horsemen, leaned heavy on horseradish and blackened burger, and phenomenal every time. This time I tried it. I mixed it up, tried their chili. Great chili. Should have known. But so I decided I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to the Vortex. I was trying to hang out with my buddy, but he was staying like 10 miles away. But in Atlanta, 10 miles, it's like 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like a $40-some Uber ride. So we both were like, you know what? Screw it. We don't need to fight this much.
We'll do it next time.
He had just driven in from Charlotte, and I was going to see him the whole next day and the next day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we don't need to get up tonight. So I was like, you know what? I'm 1.5 miles from the Vortex. I'm just going to walk down there. So I like walked my ass through Atlanta down to the Vortex.
Is that part of Atlanta a good walking area?
If you take all the right turns, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you take all the wrong turns, it's sketchy.
Stabby.
Like any other.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I ran into was a bunch of Hare Krishnas, which is fine.
They're still a thing.
I didn't think so either. Here they came, tambourines going, drums.
Nice.
And they kept trying to give me books. And I'm like, I don't want your book. And then I will be damned if bringing up the rear wasn't an absolute 10. Hare Krishna.
Wow.
All done up in her stuff and trying to give me books. And I was like, stopped in my tracks. She's like, you want these books? And I was like, I kind of do.
You're like, I'm confused.
Like,
this boner's awkward.
yeah. I was like, I've never really taken the time to understand what it is you guys are doing, but you seem really peaceful.
She had the haircut?
No. But those guys didn't know. She just had like some kind of like headdress thing coming up. So who knows? But
She might have had the haircut under the headdress.
she was a smoke show. It blew my mind. I was like, well, hello. I still was able to
Divert.
rally all of my inner strength and
Yeah.
say, no, thank you. She hadn't been handing out books. Maybe it would have been a different conversation. But I'm like, I'm afraid I'll read that thing, and next thing you know, I got a ponytail and a tambourine. Like, I don't know how strong I am. I don't want to mix.
Yeah,
don't want to risk it.
Don't
want to
chance
risk it.
No,
I have to come home and explain to my wife, "Oh, I'm
the
leaving.
ponytail.
I'm leaving you. I met a woman on the streets. We have nothing now.
She changed my life.
Yeah, call me Cat Stevens now. Oh, no, he changed it now. I went the wrong way with that joke. Damn it.
He did change religions.
Yes. But so I walked the mile and a half, and I get there only to find that the 7 days a week, it's open 7 days a week from like 4 to 11 or 12 every day.
Except for?
Just randomly closed. Like just like a haphazardly placed thing on the door. Sorry, we're closed today.
Oh.
And I was like, what? You're open every day? I've done this a million times. Like,
yeah.
You can't be closed. Never even thought to call because of course you're open.
Yeah.
The vortex. So then I'm standing there and I'm like looking around at all these other restaurants, and I'd passed a million cool restaurants.
Yeah.
I was like, but I really just wanted a burger. Like
that's the worst. When you have your mindset to something like that and you don't get it, that's a letdown.
Yeah, like I was mentally there.
Yeah, because that mile and a half took you 20, 30 minutes, and you're just bebopping down the street like,
excited.
I'm going to Vortex. I'm going to Vortex.
Yeah, I had my headphones in.
Yeah,
I was like listening to stuff. I was like jamming.
You're like, what burger am I going to get this time? And I got to try this one. I got to try that one.
And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to get a Laughing Skull beer, and I'm going to eat a burger.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to walk home. I'm not going to feel bad about it because I just walked 3 miles to make this happen. Like, hell yeah. Got there, they were closed, and I was just devastated. It took me a little while. And I was like, no, I still want a Vortex burger.
Is there more than one?
There's 2 locations.
Ah.
So the other one is in a little area, I don't know, called Little 5 Points. I've never been to that one, but it's actually the original Vortex.
So the one you go to is the only one you've been to, and that's the one you always go to?
They'll always go to. To the point that at one time, just before the pandemic...
You knew the waitress or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
The bartender.
Yeah, I'd walk in and Stephanie, like, she was like, hey, Brendan, you want a beer? And like brought me my beer.
Yeah, because you were in Atlanta pretty regularly.
Yeah, and I'd gotten to the point where, like, Thursdays, she knew I was going to show up. Because I intentionally get the 10 o'clock flight out of Atlanta back to Richmond so that when my meetings end at 5...
You can hit the Vortex.
I go straight to the Vortex, and I know that I have 3 hours... where I can drink as many beers as I can and then Uber to the airport and fly out.
Nice.
It's a brilliant plan. Flawless most of the time.
It's hard to be a regular in a town you don't even live in.
And I pulled it off. And the guys who would come in there and meet me there typically, they were never considered regulars.
Yeah.
She knew my name, and that's because they found out the hard way. I would sometimes slide in there with other dudes.
Ooh.
It wasn't just them.
Yeah.
Like I'm in the Vortex. So I'm standing outside, like devastated. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to Uber over there.
How far was it?
It's like a $12 ride. So whatever. Yeah. But it took a little while.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly close. I couldn't walk it because I remember looking and I was like, no, that's a bridge too far. It was like an hour and a half walk. I was like, I have to take a car.
Yeah.
So order an Uber, standing there, and then this kind of like bigger, taller dude comes walking along, and he's got these like 2 Asian dudes with him, like smaller dudes, and they're like dressed up.
This is in the Vortex.
No, they're like walking up to the Vortex, and they walk up and they go, and they're like, oh, and I watch the same devastation come over their face. Now, I'd seen a lot of people do this while I was standing there.
You didn't think to look up to see if they were open?
No, I never did. No, I never did. I never.
Your mind was so clouded. I
was just going.
Yeah.
I was just going. I was like, they can't close both.
Yeah.
Because look at all these people coming. They've got to be able to deal with the overflow. And so they're like, I can't believe this is closed. Like, this is bullshit. And I hear them arguing. I was like, yeah, I was so upset. I ordered an Uber. Like, I'm going to the other one. Because then one of them said,
this is still the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And one of them made a comment. He was like, there is another Vortex. And I was like, yeah. I was like, in fact, I just called an Uber. I'm going over to it. They were like, did you check to see if it's open? And I was like, nah. And they're like, well, we should check and see if it's open. And then like they called up there, and sure enough, it was open. And they were like, well, look, if you're going, you want to catch a ride with us? And I was like, well, I already ordered, and I don't know who the hell these guys are.
Yeah.
This is just kind of weird, you know? And they were like so excited. They were like making like movie references, and like they're all over. I don't know. It was a little too chummy.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know you guys, and you're being awfully chummy. Like, I'm just going to go up there myself. And I was like, well, I'll see you guys up there. I'm taking the Uber. And they left.
I thought they were going to ask to jump in your Uber.
Yeah, well, apparently one of them was driving.
What would you have done if it was that scenario?
I don't know, because I didn't have to cross that bridge.
I feel like I might be cool with that.
I think I would have been like, yeah, sure. Because it's an Uber. Like, what do I care?
Yeah, you can buy me a beer when we get there.
Yeah. So I get there after them. So I walk in and they're there. And the place is packed because everybody has come from the other one, plus all the people that were coming. So it's completely packed out. I can't even get like bar space.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we're just waiting here at the bar. We got a table. And I was like, all right, well, you guys made it. That's cool. Like, we're chatting. And they're like, well, you can have this seat as soon as we get up. And they're like, you should just eat with us, though. Like, we got a table and it'll be ready in a minute. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm eat by myself. And then finally they get their table and I realize, like, it's so crowded. Like, the table's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
They're like, you sure you don't want to just eat with us? And I was like, fuck it. This is already weird enough. Like, I'll go eat with you guys. And so, like, I'm walking over and I was like, how do you know these guys? To one of the Asian guys. He goes, I just met the two of them today.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, we're in town for a conference.
But they, like, work together.
Yeah, so apparently the big white dude works at the State Department. He's some high-up dude in the Navy who's, like, he's done his tours. Now he's at the State Department. He lives in D.C. The other dude is, like, some contractor who's trying to, like, win all of the business from the Navy. So he's trying to wine and dine that guy at the conference. So he's the one who drove them over there and everything. And the other guy just ran into him at the conference and thought the idea of a burger was a really good idea. So I'm like, so I don't know any of these guys. Only two of them know each other at all. I'm like, all right, let's do this. Like, screw it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we sit down and then they're like, it's trivia night. And the Navy dude, like, lights up. He's like, I'm the trivia master in the Navy. Like, I never lose. I never lost on my ships. I never lose here. Like, he's talking about all these different places. And he's like, we're doing trivia. So now I'm like, all of a sudden I'm sucked into a trivia group at the Vortex while eating burgers and drinking beers with these guys, which I was like, I'm not drinking tonight, really. I was going to have one beer. I did keep it cool. I only had two. But whole thing spiraled out of control. Now I'm playing trivia till like 10:30 at night in the Vortex
with people you don't even know.
People I don't know at all. We're high-fiving at the table.
Nice.
Like, yeah,
was he good?
He was good, but I was actually nailing just as many as he was, so we were a good team.
I love trivia. I feel like I'm above average at trivia, so I would have been like all in on that.
That's weird. I didn't feel too bad about it. Like, the very first question was like, what fictitious fruit was the wallpaper in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? And they're all looking around like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's snozberries. Yeah. They're like, what the hell is this? I was like, just write it down. So then they were like, all right, he's a ringer. So like, and I got the first two
I wouldn't have known that, but when you said snozberries, I'm like, that's the only
But that's I was like, the snozberries taste like snozberries. That's a thing. Then like the next question was like, what band has albums that are called Blue, Black, Teal, like other stuff? And I'm just like, that's Weezer. Like, Weezer does all that weird shit. Yeah. And they're like, you sure? I'm like, pretty sure.
You got a better idea?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I know there's a lot of other people that have had albums like that.
A lot of other bands have done black and white albums for sure, but not Teal.
But Blue is definitely Weezer.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure.
Because that was their big hit.
That was the first one. Yeah. Yeah. So I was like, nah, it's Weezer. So then they're like, oh my God, he's a ringer. It all went to shit soon thereafter. Like, I was losing it. We started fading, but then we were all upset because we're like, these people are cheating. No one knows all these answers. Yeah. So then we're bonding over that. But then they ended up giving me a ride home.
That's awesome.
And like, we're all staying in different hotels. Everybody's from a different state. Everyone's got different stories. It was a weird ass night. But I like kind of when something like that happens, comes together. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, it was weird, but
that's what traveling's about, right?
I think so. Yeah. Like, that was, I tried to push it off and it wasn't happening. It was destined.
But it was meant to be. Yeah.
It was destined. I was going to be hanging out with two contractors and some high up dude from the Navy. Never exchange numbers. Never, like, I don't need to stay in touch with you. Yeah. Just wanted one glorious night of trivia and burgers. Some weirdos.
And the story to go along with it.
Yeah. And then I was leaving. I was like, oh, cool. I have something I can talk about right up until the deli on the podcast. It kind of worked itself out. Because here we are.
It's that time.
It is that time. Hashtag adulting.
Pick this deli up from somewhere we never get delis. Because this was a last second.
Your everyday sheets.
This was at our local Sheets. This is the Evil Genius Guava IPA. It is called hashtag, literally the hashtag symbol, adulting. That is what it says.
That's it. It's famous. Hashtagging. So now they're just trying to capitalize on all the people who hashtag adulting.
Yeah.
Well played.
Which, by the way, that shit annoys me. People that use that term.
Adulting?
Yes.
Then why'd you buy this beer?
Because it was the one we hadn't had.
That's fair. Yeah, because they also do Stacy's Mom, but I can't definitively say we haven't gotten it.
I don't recall it, but it also sounds familiar at the same time.
I've just seen it enough, and like I just don't know if I ever bought it or not.
Let me do the write up here.
Yeah,
The
give me
write-up,
some.
You know, it's got to be cute with a name like hashtag adulting.
And knowing the other beer that they're selling is Stacy's Mom. Yeah,
This can, in case you don't know, is what color?
green.
Yes, it is very green. It is like Celtics
It
green.
looks like a minty green to me.
Yeah. Well, it's darker than that. A guava IPA that paid its rent on time. That's how we're starting off this right up on the back. Adulting is hard. Finding a delicious IPA should not be. Well, look no further. This smooth IPA is infused with all-natural guava flavor, making it the perfect reward for remembering to turn the oven off.
Oh.
6.8 ABV
I had to sit down there because I just got bubble guts that just wanted to
out of Philadelphia.
explode.
That write-up was stupid.
Yeah.
Told you nothing.
Hashtag adulting.
Good job, evil genius.
Oh, I don't expect any literary works of art coming out of Philly.
Oh, Philly.
For a town with a whole lot of really good universities in it, they sure do have a lot of people who don't go to university.
And it's quite ironic that their whole thing is brotherly love when they're known for being notorious pricks.
Well, isn't brotherly love, though? Sometimes you kick the shit out of your brother.
You kind of do, right?
Yeah, I think brotherly love actually fits if you really peel back that onion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of
Hate love.
a lot of infighting, a lot of, there's just a lot of that. There's competition.
Now, I tend to like guava as a flavor. How about you?
I do, but it's one that I never know what to expect. I also question if guava is one of those flavors that I don't truly know. Like, I never go, oh, that's definitely guava.
Yeah. That's most fruit in most beer for me, though.
But I mean, apparently.
The mango.
Mango.
Hashtag mango.
Mango, I get. Like, I'm somewhat familiar, but like, when was the last time you had a guava in the house?
Never.
Yeah, there was a mango in my house within the last year.
Yeah, I don't know what guava is. I don't know what that flavor is.
So
Or maybe I'm thinking of agave I like in beer.
agave is just a different kind of sugar.
That's what they make tequila with, right?
Yes. But this flavor's different.
Yes.
I don't know where I stand on that. Through the power of editing, this was great. Like, the cut happened a minute ago. I just took the world's most ridiculous
You didn't
shit.
have to tell anybody you we took a break.
I had to just tear down the wall just real quick. But the editing was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was right there in the middle of the guava conversation. Go back and try to figure it out.
We took a pause.
Dude, 2 gallons of black liquid just flew out of my body. It was intense. Like, that bowl was like filled up. I was like, wow.
Gosh.
Like, that was impressive. And it came out at such a velocity that when I wiped, I was like, really? Clean? Impressive. Like it bypassed.
Was it the
everything.
travel? The diet, the drinking,
It's probably just all the things. I hate flying. It messes my gut up. Like, usually when I fly, I won't crap for like 48 hours after the first flight.
Uh-huh.
And then there's usually a plug that releases.
There's a glitch and then it
Yeah.
like it speeds up to catch back up.
Yeah. Like I definitely had to drop one in a Caribou coffee today,
Oh,
which was unfortunate.
public shitting sucks.
It's the worst.
I don't mind in like an office building, but like
No,
restaurants and, you know, coffee shops and
a coffee shop in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
It's the worst case. Because, you know, there's a 50-50 chance the last dude in there was shooting up. Mm-hmm. And they're all unisex.
Yep.
And women are far nastier in their bathrooms than men are.
Fact.
It's amazing to me. I didn't know that. I always just assumed a women's room was going to be like pristine.
Women's dorms are disgusting. I've been in my old job. I went in a lot of dorms, and
Yeah.
women's dorms were more often than not worse than the dudes.
Dude, it's like I'd like to crap in a men's room, then a stable, then a women's bathroom. It's like it's kind of the hierarchy of like where I want to pee or poop.
I get it.
Yeah, it's rough.
Outside's still the worst, though, right?
Outside crapping?
Yeah.
Depends on if there's water.
Yeah.
I don't mind a water baby. Like I'll give birth in the water.
Yeah.
It's very natural.
Did you ever watch Shoresy?
No,
You
that's the
gotta watch
Letterkenny
Shoresy.
spinoff.
Yes, it is so funny. They talk about it. They call it an aqua dump.
Yeah, I'm fine with an aqua dump because it's like you're cleaning while you're releasing. Mm-hmm. It's the best. But I also have this unfounded fear because when I was like a little kid, I saw something on National Geographic. Now, granted, it was like the Amazon River, where like they were saying if you
is
pee,
this where? Yeah, I saw that.
And that little thing
the
swims
little
up your pee hole.
bacteria swims up your pee hole. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it fucking infects your dong from the inside out. Like that's just it's always
no
scared
males
me.
like dong trauma.
No, but it's always scared me. And so now I've got this like unfounded belief that any water source that I pee in could potentially have the bacteria that's going to swim back up my pee hole, to the point that I've like instituted a whole system because get into the weeds. So in my mind, if I'm actively peeing and things are going out, it's too difficult for whatever that little creature is to swim up the stream.
Yeah.
But there's that moment when you finish the suck bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop. You know what I'm talking about? Like it sucks up and then
yeah.
it bloops and then it sucks up and then bloops. It's the suck up. That little moment of time where you're cutting it off, where the stream ends, and then you kind of like pull back, and then usually you pee a little more after.
Push.
Yeah. It's that little suck up. That's the problem. So like even if I'm like tubing or something, or if I'm like in the ocean peeing, I pee right up into the end, and then before the suck up happens, I'll hop.
Come up out of the water.
Just hop enough.
Or if you're in a tube, like lift your butt up out of the tube.
Yeah, just whatever I have to do to get the mushroom tip just out of the water, and then that's when the suck occurs. And it's a very quick suck because I don't want to play around. But I understand that this was in the Amazon, but every single water
I think
source,
you're going overboard.
I get it.
But you can't uncondition
Can't
yourself.
undo it.
Yeah.
I can't undo it. It's just a belief of mine. So if you ever see me,
You're like someone who's like smacked every door they've gone through the top. Like you just can't stop doing it.
That's exactly right. And I am that way. Like I lift my feet across railroad crossings if I'm in a car. It's unfounded nonsense. Just because someone told me it once. I'll never use a white lighter. Just bad luck. Don't do it. I don't split poles.
Yes.
If I'm walking with somebody, I go around that side of the pole with you. Like it doesn't take much for you to put a superstition.
Have you ever noticed because I noticed this, I don't do it on purpose, but every now and then it hits me. Like you'll brush your teeth the same way, or like get out of the shower and dry off in the same, like.
Oh yeah, we're creatures of habit.
Yeah.
But then like if you do
like
it
I always
different,
dry my left arm first and like work my way around like top to bottom. Like it just always start with the left for some reason. Or like
it's weird.
A lot of people do it with their shoes. You know, they always put one shoe on.
I've never noticed if I do it with shoes. Now I'm going to be hyper aware. I think
get you locked in on something else.
I grab a towel and I think like the first thing that hits my hair.
Yeah.
And then I move around.
Yeah. Yeah, you work top to bottom. If you're drying off bottom to top, you're doing it wrong.
I've noticed a tremendous difference. If you can just wait 5 to 10 seconds in the shower, a vast majority of the water that's about to come off you will come off you.
Yep.
Like you can really fast track the amount of mess.
I agree.
Solving first world problems.
I'll also dry off almost completely before I step out of the shower.
I've started doing that sometimes. I don't always do it, but like
that saves a lot of damage in the
absolutely
bathroom.
Yeah. See, because we're men, we care about the bathroom.
Water is a universal solvent. It will demolish everything over time.
Over time. That's right. You know what it can't do though?
What?
Kill guava flavor.
Yeah, well, I'm curious to see your takes on. I'll go first. I think you've been going first lately. I'll go first.
Go for it.
Hashtag adulting by Evil Genius. What is my take on this? It is very meh. It is not overly bad, and it is damn sure not overly good. I was thinking about giving it a 3, but I could not because it's just a little too funky of a flavor. So I'm just going to go right down the middle and say it's a 2.5. It's not good. It's not bad. I'm not spit taking it I am, but I'm not like, it's not aggressively gross, but it's also not like, this is refreshing or this is tasty. I can't wait for my next sip. Like, I want to look forward to each sip, not, I guess I'll have another sip here. Does that sound, are you anywhere near that? Like, what are you thinking?
So it's interesting to hear you say it. I'm going to go a slightly different direction than you. So I took 2 sips and immediately projectile vomited out of my ass. So that's not a good selling point for me. Like I wasn't.
We can't put all that on the adulting.
But I also, have to jump out of the water to make sure that the little
parasite
with the little hooks on it doesn't get up in my urethra. So I'm not always based in science. Now I understand that it's physically impossible to have 2 sips of a beer and have it immediately shoot out my anus. I get that. But I'm blaming this. So I've got that. I also think there's something weird. You ever had we all have, like there's a flavor when water's chlorinated. And I get like a weird chlorinated water flavor going with this.
I kind of see that or taste that now.
It's really strange. It's light, but I shouldn't be able to taste anything like that through this beer. And then whatever that guava taste is, I just don't think it's very good. It's not too sweet, but it is sickening. And I don't know how it managed to do that.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is all the things that it's doing, it's managing to do wrong. Now,
I'm looking forward to getting the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, I noticed you just ran over and grabbed an iced tea real quick just to kind of clean it out. So while a 2.5 is right down the middle, and I think that's where most of the beers that we're like, I can finish it, net out. While I can finish this, it's not falling into the 1 range. It certainly cannot get all the way to 2.5 for me. That's a 2.
Yeah. Now that you speak, I'm willing to drop mine down to a 2.
I mean, it'll net out at a 2.25.
But because a 2.5 is
middle of the road, and this is actually on the side of bad.
Yes. If I had to pick which side of middle of the road, I'm leaning bad.
It's bad. It's like the guava sucks. The beer itself is fine, so that's okay.
The good thing it was really expensive.
Was it?
Like $12 for a 6-pack.
In a convenience store, which is like usually a good, Nah, fuck this beer. Evil Genius, #adulting, #sucks my ass.
The can is bland. The font is bland. The description is worse than bland. Like, it doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
Nah, I don't like this beer.
Unless you're a hipster trying to be cute with the #adulting name. Which, believe me, I didn't like to buy.
Now that thing can go fuck itself. How it ended up in convenience stores. Because usually, they've kind of vetted the beers that are in there. You're like, that's a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And that's like, they're always good.
But do you think the beer, and I could be right or wrong, but think the beer game is kind of like the old music game was.
Oh, it's mafia.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the distributor gets their hands on it, and they're
Yeah.
like, no, we're going to push this. Yeah, there's definitely some kickback. There's something happening. Evil Genius got an account, and
Yeah, I mean, they had Stacy's mom and adulting in there.
it's just not a good.
And that's not that our local Sheets does have a beer cave, but it's not a big one. Like, so
Oh, and
real estate's a premium.
most of the beers in there are good. There's hazy little things in there. There's like,
Oh, I can't even tell you how many different Voodoo Rangers they had.
yeah, they have all the good. I don't understand how this even finds its way into there. 'Cause,
Somebody owns part of it that wants it pushed out there.
you know, it's gonna have your Twisted Teas, then it's got your Miller Lights, your Coors Lights. It's gonna have your basics. There's always gonna have Corona there.
It's got your Jack bootleg or whatever.
Yeah, it's gonna have some bullshit, but like
The fake liquor stuff.
proven bullshit.
Yeah.
This should not have made it into a Sheets. This is bad.
No.
That's a 2 for me.
I'm with you. I'm going 2 as well.
Fuck that beer. I'll finish it though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not in the one range where I go, I'm not going to finish this. I'm going to get it down, but I'm not going to enjoy what's going on. And I shit like 2 gallons.
And now you'll be sitting on 5 of those beers for who knows how long.
Unfortunately, this is one of those moments where that already went through my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
crap. There's nothing better than when a deli happens. Because then it's like on the weekend, I sneak out here and go, I'm going to have a good beer and I enjoy it.
And it's fun to share. You're like, hey,
I literally
this out.
saved
found
one of
this
those.
one for you.
I saved the Daddy's juice.
Oh yeah, daddy juice.
Like the Duke came over and I was like, there it is. Which he was like, it's good. That's a 3. I was like, ugh. But I was like, even if you had given it, or I think he said a 3.5.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine. Because even if you been here, it still would have won.
Yep. Because we gave it 4s, right?
It was 4s across the board.
Yeah.
So it still would have been fine. But this is a turd.
Well, now we'll have to give one to the Duke and have him turd it up as well. It's literally a turd. Or
Couple
the
gallons.
makings of a turd.
A couple gallons worth. Yeah, if I had to be honest. Yeah, this is like getting this is like having a like a bird shit on you. People say it's good, but it's not.
Yeah.
You ever hear that?
I have always heard that like having and I've never understood that. Like, I'm like, bird shit is disgusting. Having any shit on you is disgusting. It never happens like when you're walking into your home, like headed to the shower. It's like
That's
I'm
very
out in
true.
the middle of the city, you know, like,
So you've had a bird shit on you.
oh yeah. Hasn't everyone at this point in their lives? Well, at a certain age, you probably.
I can remember the first time I remember getting shit on. I was in my
By a
teen-
bird. You got to finish that sentence.
Yes. Sorry. I'm not going to tell the story about the first time I got shit on.
That you remember.
Yes. No, the first time a bird defecated on me. I remember I was in high
Birds
school.
don't pee too, which is weird.
They don't?
No, it's all the excrement. That's why it's the way it is. Is pee and poo.
It's one and the same.
Yep.
So they don't have 1s and 2s.
No, that's what I heard.
So what is that, a 1.5?
Is it 2.5, or is it a 3? Because you're adding the 1 and the 2.
I can't go with 3.
We know what a 3 is.
Yeah, 3 is ejaculate. I don't care how. Okay, you can argue with me all day, but there are times where.
Well, I guess in our math, and I'm going 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to say 1.5
Yeah.
because a 3 has been reserved for just taking care of business. You know, if you're going to whack your bag and do it properly,
Take a 3.
there should be a 3 on the end of that.
Yeah.
That's sometimes a man's got to take a 3.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but I can't say that. Yeah, it's got to be a 1.5. So birds do 1.5s.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I learn something new every day.
I mean, you've never seen a bird pee.
No, I've definitely seen bird shit.
You also never see squirrel shit, which is weird.
Whoa.
All the squirrels you
my
see,
mind.
you never see a squirrel take a shit, or I've never seen squirrel shit. Don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, you can identify deer shit.
Yeah.
Bird shit. Like you see all these other.
Yep.
You're like, oh, there's a bear nearby. That's bear scat.
And where we live, there's a gajillion squirrels everywhere. Like, they are just in all the trees all the time.
Could it look like just deer shit?
Do you see that around your yard?
Occasionally.
You have deer here.
No, I do. I'm saying I occasionally, but maybe we just mistake it. But nah, there's so many squirrels.
Yeah. You would literally, it'd be like you stepping in every other step in our yards.
You would think. And the amount of squirrels I have, you'd think my lawn would be great.
Exactly.
Because all that fertilizer they're dropping. They just don't poop.
I don't know. But anyway, back to the bird shit.
I can't.
Lucky.
You got me.
I blew your mind.
You got you ever had just somebody says something, you're like, whoa. Like, I've been on this earth a long time, and I've been surrounded by squirrels, and I've never seen one just stop, hunch up, drop a deuce, and go.
Yeah.
They must shit up in the trees.
Who knows?
They must have to get away from. You don't want to die. You see rabbit shit.
Yeah, but you would think that they shit in the trees to be on your car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you see rabbit shit. Like you see all these.
I see all these things. I see mouse shit.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I see mouse shit on my dashboard every so often. I'll be like, oh, there's a mouse in here.
Yeah.
Or you go somewhere and you're like, oh, there's little mouse turds.
Yep.
They just run along.
Go under your sink and you're like, there's been a mouse in there.
There's been a mouse here. All these squirrels I never seen. Huh. Sorry, I mean, you derailed me here.
That was not my intent, but it is weird.
It is. All right, so back to 1.5s.
Yeah.
Birds. I remember the first time it happened to me that I can remember. I was in Ocean City, Maryland, and I was talking to these two girls. I was like in high school, and I mean, my game was on point.
Were you like on the beach, on the boardwalk?
Boardwalk.
Okay.
You ever get those moments where you're like, I am on fire?
I remember those days.
I'm spitting game, and everything I'm saying, they're
funny,
laughing, they're into it, and it gets to the point where they're touching each other now.
Yeah.
Like on the shoulder, they're like, ha ha ha, and I'm like, okay. I'm getting them to laugh to the point that they're engaging with each other. And then I just crossed the boundary. The one girl touched my shoulder.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, snap. Like, I am in. There's been physical contact that I have not initiated.
Yeah.
It's just by me spitting game. And I'm like, this is going great. And then this bird shits. And I feel it hit my forehead and then hit my nose.
Oh, no.
And then I just feel it just kind of dripping off. And I'm looking at them. And they both they look revolted, and then they start laughing.
Like you did, like it was you played a part in it.
Yeah, like
somehow.
I pissed and pooped on my face. And at them, I just left.
Yeah.
He was like, I know there's no recovery.
What are the chances?
Yeah, it was like that, and it was a direct shot.
So you would say that's unlucky?
I would say it's unlucky.
Yeah.
But people are like, oh, that's good luck. You're going to have a great day. I remember another time I was doing one of these. You stick your arm out the window of a car.
Yeah.
You do the wave.
And
let the air blow.
Yeah.
And I remember I was doing that one time, and I was riding along with my buddy Eddie in college. And I was like, yeah. And then a bird shit. And we had been going at the exact velocity that it was able to clear in front of my arm, but go fast enough that I caught it in the gap of my shirt, and it went into my armpit hair.
Oh my God.
So we'd been going just the right speed at the right, and then it was all up in my hair, and I felt it go boosh into my armpit.
And you were probably very confused.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, it just got wet in there.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And then I'm picking out a 1.5.
Yeah. Oh.
It's horrible.
Not lucky.
Not lucky.
Did anything good happen after these two things? Because both of them sound awful.
No, but that everybody says bird poops good luck. So I was actually at a work thing a little while ago, and one of the women we were with ended up getting crapped on, and her work clothes, and she got shit on.
Again, not walking into your house headed to the shower.
So she let in though. She was like, you know what? It's good luck. Mm-hmm. So she bought lotto tickets, did all this stuff. Was like, if it's good luck, I'm gonna lean in. Guess what? She lost everything.
That was a great setup. You had me hooked. I was like, if he tells me she won a goddamn lottery, I'm going to lose my shit.
Lost them all. And had put $20 in. She was like, I'm in. This is good luck. And she kept talking about it this is it. This is the one. So I find it so interesting how we do that. When we say,
I wonder where that came from.
There's other ones oh, it rained on your wedding day.
Yes.
That's great luck.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, yeah, statistically, like,
I doubt it.
yeah.
I doubt if you really went out and looked at like marriages that had rain on their day.
Yeah, but back to your, like, not splitting poles. Like, it's just one of those weird.
I think it's just shit we say to people to make them feel better.
Yeah.
We go,
for sure.
We go, oof, your day was ruined.
Yeah.
Like now it's like a wet t-shirt contest with all you and your bridesmaids.
Yeah.
That's good luck.
You paid all that money to look your best and you look awful.
Yeah, you're gonna stay married forever. What a stroke of luck.
Yeah.
What a bullshit lie we tell these people. Because here's what I do know. You have bad luck. You got rained out on your wedding.
Yes.
That was a stroke of bad luck.
Yes.
Now we have to lie to you and tell you that. You just got a bird 1.5 on your shoulder. So I'm going to make you
got to walk
feel
around
better.
the rest of your day with bird shit all over you.
Yeah. We do this as humans. We're like, to say good
To
luck.
trick our minds into buying into it.
To say good luck to someone, say, break a leg. What?
Yeah.
Don't. So like, what schmuck broke their leg in a play where we were like, oh, this play's gonna run forever. It's gonna be the next Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, because they say if you say good luck,
That's
bad luck. The most good luck thing you could do
Say good luck.
is bad luck. But
So break a leg.
break a leg is good luck. Bird shitting on you is good luck. And then like there's walking under a ladder is bad luck. Or breaking a mirror is bad luck.
Yeah. Why don't we say, oh, you lucky son of a bitch?
Yeah, you drop that mirror,
You're set.
you're so lucky.
Yeah, this is the nonsense we fill.
What's your take on luck?
on luck?
Like, do you believe in it?
I believe there are people who genuinely have good luck.
Yes, I agree.
I do think that there are people who are luckier and there are people who are unluckier.
What, and do you think you're one of those people?
I think I fall on the side of bad luck.
So do I.
Not like to the point that like I have bad luck all the time.
No, I have a great life, but like if I'm buying a lottery ticket, I feel there's zero chance I'm winning.
My odds are not good.
Yes.
In fact, I think my luck is so bad that if there was a whole group of us that bought lottery tickets and I didn't,
Yeah, we've talked about this.
that they would hit.
Yeah.
But I can put
But by you getting in,
I can keep us all from winning.
yeah, we're all screwed.
Yeah, that way I don't have to watch you be rich.
Yeah.
So my bad luck will pervade. But like I see this with gamblers. You know, like
Yeah.
you can't predict gambling. You just
No.
can't. But there's some people who tend to do very well.
Yeah.
And those people tend to do well like long term.
Yeah.
Those are lucky people.
Yeah.
And then there's people like me who in the long haul will always kind of do poorly.
Yeah. Like the little bit of gambling I've ever done, like I'll play blackjack and I know the odds and I'll do the right moves and still lose.
Yeah, and then there's some people who like they just kind of willy-nilly.
But I'm
get it.
also not good at gambling because like I'll put down the same bet every time when in reality
You're supposed to
you change
move.
it up.
Yeah.
Because if you win and lose at the same rate, doesn't really matter. But if you hit on a big bet and lose on a small bet, you're in the plus, right? So
Yeah, and those people there's just intuition.
yeah.
But I think that's where the luck really comes into play.
Yeah.
It's like when you get that gut feeling. And I've had nights of good luck.
Yes.
I'm not saying that
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
always
yeah.
bad luck. I can get on hot streaks. I can do all kinds of things. But traditionally speaking, I think I earn most of my good fortune.
I don't feel like luck gets talked about in sports enough.
No, and there's all right, like a team of destiny is clearly like there's a lot of luck involved when you see one of those teams of destiny where
Yeah.
it's like that dude hasn't fumbled all year and just coughed it up
Yep.
at the end of the game and they recovered and
Yeah.
they won because of that. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. Your whole team went all season without a major injury to a star player. Like that's pretty lucky.
Yeah, some of that team of destiny stuff.
Yeah.
You never see somebody who, oh, you fumbled. That's good luck. That's good means great things for the rest
Or
of the
like
season.
you fumble and you recover it or something. They're never like, you're lucky.
No, you just
Well, it's like to me, like I've never played. I don't play golf much anymore, but when I played, I've never hit a hole in one. I've never been with anyone who's hit a hole in one, but that'd be fun to even be a part of, right?
Absolutely.
But as much as I'd like to be able to say I'd hit a hole in one, if I hit one to 2 inches of the cup, if you're playing golf with your buddies and you hit that shot or your buddy hits that shot, you go, holy shit, that guy is a good golfer. If that guy hits a hole in one or you hit a hole in one, you go, today's your lucky day.
So my mom has played golf one time in her life, and she got a hole in one in the first time she ever played golf.
Wow.
Just got a hole in one.
Yeah, that's
So
just
she
luck.
she just dropped the mic.
Yeah.
She was like, why do I need to play golf?
She's Kim Jong-un or ill or whatever.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
She's, what are they, dear master or whatever? Dear,
What?
they call him something.
Oh, I don't know. But don't you think, isn't that true? Like if somebody hits a golf shot within a couple inches of their hole, you're like, that's a skilled person. But if it goes
Yeah,
in,
then it's
you're like,
lucky.
you're just a luck. Today was your day.
Today was your day.
It's like, no, I'm still skilled. Or
You know I'm going to get a hole in one day. I know. I still believe, every time I come up to a par 3, and I mean every time,
you think it's your day.
I feel it. I feel it in my gut. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is happening.
But you just said you would be on the bad side of luck if you had to pick a side.
Yeah, because luck is truly when you shouldn't be there, and then it goes right. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the things that
Or are you
do
manifesting missing your hole in one because you're coming at it with such a
No, I'm so
mentality?
stupid that I truly believe every time that I'm going to get that hole in one. And I mean, every time. There's not a time I come up to a par 3 where I don't see the hole in one.
See, when I play, I think every shot I'm going to hit is going to be awful. And if I don't hit an awful shot, I'm surprised by that outcome.
No, I'm wildly confident every time. Every time.
And you're not a good golfer.
I'm horrible.
Yeah.
There's a disconnect between my belief and my physical ability.
Recognizing your skill.
Yeah. Like Oprah says that, if you just believe it, you can manifest it, you can make it happen. If that was true, I would be the best golfer in the world. Because I'm always like, I got this. But I do have this, I believe that I'm kind of unlucky if you just go down the line. But I have an unwavering confidence in every single thing I do. I am never dissuaded by the fact that I have had bad. I'm just not.
Or not even bad luck. Even if you're not good at something, you're confident about it.
But I am. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is completely unwavering. There's nothing.
That's
in
a good
this
trait
world.
to have, though.
It's just psychosis.
Could be both.
Like I've had an entire lifetime of proof, and none of it matters because I'm the best.
Yeah, but how? Yeah, being confident is a good trait to have because all your success in your love life and your job and your personal life, it all comes. It mostly comes from those that are confident, not lacking confidence.
Yeah, when I fail, I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna get that next time.
Yeah.
Like the next time I step up to the plate, I don't really remember the fail.
Yeah.
Now, fortunately, I actually do a lot of things well, so I do think, okay, I got this. So I have.
Well,
these
and you're an
things that
adult, so you kind of stay in the positive side. Like as adults, we don't have to do things where we fail. Like it's not really. You don't sign up for those things.
I still kind of do. I'm about to do a whole table for my wife.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that you're trying to accomplish that on your own.
I can do that. Like, why wouldn't I'm the best. Never done it.
I know a lot of guys that are DIY like that, and I'm just like, you're a lunatic to try to fix some of the stuff on your own. And I lack that confidence. And I'm kind of handy. I can kind of fix a lot of stuff, but I still would outsource a lot of it.
Yeah.
Just because I'd rather it be done right the first time than me waste 2 whole days messing around with it.
Yeah, I just feel like
So you bought a piece of live wood. You're building your wife a desk for her new office space that you talked about. So that job's already started. When are you going to complete this project?
hopefully soon. So I had reached out to.
I guess she's not working in her quote unquote office yet.
No, not till like July 10th.
Okay.
I got a little bit of time.
Oh, so she's still going into the office.
Yeah, she has to do the whole transition.
Okay. I thought when you said she got the job and it was immediate, I thought like
no. So like, here's my ignorant confidence as like perfect example. So I know that Joe the chef also does a lot of woodwork. Now you want to talk about like unfounded confidence?
Yes.
And like Joe the chef is actually a perfect example, right? Like he looks at a pile of wood and goes, I can build a deck.
Yeah.
And he literally will.
Yeah.
And he'll get it done. And I'm like, damn. And I've seen some stuff where I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then I've seen some things where I'm like, that's actually really, really good. Like I've seen him do some good stuff. And I'm kind of blown away. But so I didn't know who to call. I was like, I need a piece of like live wood. Like a live edge slab.
She wants a live edge to like rest her arms on and work next to?
No, that's her desk.
I know, but the live edge will be at her stomach. Like that'll be where she's resting.
Yeah, but we're going to soften it.
Okay.
Soften the edges. You kind of, there's things you can do according to YouTube. And
according to skilled woodworkers.
Yeah. So I was like,
like yourself.
I don't know who to call.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to call Joe the chef. And I was like, hey man, don't you have like some live edge slab, like contact? And he's like, oh man, I really don't know anyone outside of Slabadabadoo.
What?
And I'm like looking at my text and I'm like, Slabadabadoo. I was like,
I would assume that was a joke coming from him.
Yeah, I just thought there's no way this auto-corrected to Slabadabadoo. You know? Like, I understand fuck to duck.
Yeah.
But Slabadabadoo, what could he have possibly been writing? So I was like, okay. And he was
he
like,
does say yabba dabba do on a regular basis.
Does he?
Oh. Doesn't it sound like he
No,
would?
it absolutely does. So I was like, all right. So I look it up. And sure enough, I go to their Facebook page. And they're like, this weekend we're having a mill and chill. I'm like, what the hell is a mill and chill? So it turns out these guys will like about quarterly, they will like cook out a bunch of food and invite people out to their mill. And they're just like cutting wood and
drinking.
They weren't drinking.
Oh,
but like they're just carving giant slabs of wood. And then they put them in like solar kilns. So they'll cut it and it's like a big building that has like a clear roof on it. And it stays consistently at like 155 degrees in there. Just a dry heat and they have a fan just blowing through it. And it just, that ages the wood. But it takes months to do it this way. But I guess it's like the best way to do it.
Well, it's probably better than putting it in a kiln because you're speeding it up.
Exactly. You're letting it happen. Like all the bugs die. All the stuff dies and then it really cures properly.
It's like cooking pork slow and low instead of,
versus 500
searing
degrees.
it on a skillet.
Yeah, it just works better. So that's what these guys do, but they're like so protective. Like they don't have their address listed anywhere. They don't have anything going on. So I'm like, interesting. So they're like, DM us and then we'll give you the info. So I DM these guys and they're like, okay, come on out Saturday. Like, all right. So I get these instructions. And of course, they're the kind of instructions like look for the cluster of mailboxes. You're on some country road.
Yeah.
They're like, look for this cluster of mailboxes and then turn this way. So my wife reads me these directions and says, look for the cluster of mailboxes and then turn. And I was like, well, what's it say? Does it say across the street? Because there's a gravel road across the street. And then that road over there doesn't look right. And she goes, oh, it says across. So I turn and go down this gravel road. And there's a million signs say like no trespassing. One sign, particularly ominous, no trespassing. God is watching you.
Oh, snap.
And this is after I'm like down in these woods a little bit.
Basically saying, do you want to meet your God?
That's exactly it. And I've passed multiple places and now I'm in like some backwoods shit. And it says God is watching you. And then like the road is turning into like mud and it's been raining so much. So now I'm off-roading, I'm slapping through mud. I'm bouncing around in my old truck and I'm like, this is awesome. But it shook the pee out of me. I had to stop and pee on the side of the road. Like we keep going. My wife's like, this can't be it. Like we've been going for 10 minutes just into the woods.
Yeah.
And she's like, it said gravel road. This isn't gravel anymore. We're just mudding. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's awesome, right? She's like, you don't understand.
You're off task at this point.
Yeah, I'm doing something else. Finally, she convinced me that I've lost my mind. So we turned around and come back and like we'd missed it by like 100 yards. It was like actually right up the road.
Yeah.
a nice gravel road with a
I wonder where you were going to end up.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Well, and she even started saying, she's like, I feel like this is how we die.
Oh, this is definitely like the person that shoots with and then asks, tells you to turn around.
Absolutely. Yeah. I warned them after the fact. I stood over their dead body.
Yeah.
How they got my gun, I'll never know. But they had it.
the 911 dispatcher. Are you sure they're dead? Yeah, I am now.
Yeah, they're dead. So then I pull up to, I go up and I do pull up to Slab at Abadoo. And I'm not kidding. Like as soon as I pull up, Joe the chef is like the car right in front of me. Just randomly out in the middle of nowhere. And we just pull right in.
Did y'all plan to meet up there?
No, he just was like, he was like, are you going to the Grill and Chill? And I was like, yeah.
Grill and Chill? Mill and
Chill. Yeah, it was just crazy. We were just eating and banging. No, so we went out to the Mill and Chill and like they fed us and like they had so much live wood, just trees that they've just been slicing and cutting and just it's stacked. There's a million different paths you can walk out into the woods. And this shit is stacked 30 feet high, going 100 feet long, all over different kinds of wood. It was crazy. And they're like, oh yeah, if you want, go find the piece of wood you want. And then we'll throw it in the solar kiln and you pick it up in a couple months. And I'm like, no, I need wood like
today.
Like I need something this size. And they're like, actually, we got some of that. If you want to come up to the barn, walked me up to the barn, hooked it up. Like Joe and I are looking at it and like checking it out. Like, all right, this could be a good desk right here. So we picked up a piece. And before I went out of town to Atlanta, I found some other guy who has like the Dingo Wood place that these people told me about up at Slab at Abadoo because they were like, yeah, they can. It undulates. It's not perfectly flat. We just mill it. We don't actually like finish it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I mean, you could for a couple days you could just sand. He's like, but this guy's got like a laser precision thing. It'll just make it flat in no time. He's like, it's $75. So I ended up taking this slab of wood, driving it over to some other crazy place. I'm like in this whole
where he like planed it.
That's where he said, I pick it up tomorrow.
Nice.
So like I'm in this underground world where these people don't disclose their addresses. They just do this stuff. This guy who was doing it, this dude Sean, who was out in Slab at Abadoo, he was talking about, I used to have like this corporate IT job up at Capital One. And he's like, but man, they were always over my shoulder telling me what to do. And he's like, and I couldn't drink vodka when I wanted. That was literally what he said to me. I was like, oh, yeah, this is a reasonable reason to leave corporate America.
What an asshole.
Yeah,
your boss was a prick.
What dicks?
Yeah.
And he's like, so.
The man, am I right?
Yeah. So he's like, so I just came out here, and he's like, now whenever I want to drink my vodka.
And operate this mill.
That's what he said. He's like, I just drink vodka, operate chainsaws, and one of these 3 giant mills, and then just hump wood over here. And then he's like, and then my oldest son over there, he just sells it. He's like, so I just drink and cut, and then I stack it, and then he sells it. And he's like, we're actually doing just fine.
Good on him.
Yeah, he knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
He said he was up drinking till 2 a.m. the night before and was out here at 6 running saws.
That's wild.
Like this motherfucker. I was like,
that is wild.
That's his life.
Yeah.
And that's my new live slab connection. So then, of course...
Except how often do you need live slabs?
Well, I need one more.
Yeah. Let me guess. The bar.
This bar right here. So they start telling me... I got her a 6-foot live slab it was $160.
It's not bad at all.
No. Now I'm going to pay $75 to have this next part done. And then from there, I'm going to take over, finish the sanding, and get it...
Stain it, shellac it.
Yeah, get it dialed in, do the finish, the final cuts to make sure it all fits.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stuff I clearly can do because of my confidence. Don't have the tools.
Yeah.
Don't have the know-how. It'll be done before.
Well, I guess if it's going to fit tightly in the closet, all you got to do is put some brackets around underneath to hold it up, and you don't need legs or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm literally going to find the studs and just put like 2x4s around underneath. Just drop it on.
Or you can find some decorative metal ones that look even better.
Yeah, so we're working through that.
Yeah.
Right now we got some like just white ones.
Yeah.
It's like I'd say more like a 1.5 and 2, but it's white. I think it'll look fine. If we need to paint it, we'll paint it.
You won't see it.
No. So we're getting work done. We're doing it. I just had some electrical put in. I did not do that.
Nice.
Yeah, like taking care of. So it's happening.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm in this underground world. It's pretty cool.
That is pretty
getting
neat.
to know.
I can't wait to see it.
But so then they told me about this piece of wood they have.
Uh-oh.
That because I was like, I need something 10 feet long, between 2 and 3 feet deep, like something for a bar top. They were like, well, we don't have anything like that. Well, we do have this one, but it's an exotic wood. And I'm like,
yeah, sounds expensive.
Yes. And he said that they have Lebanese cedar.
Interesting.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Lebanese cedar. They're like, it's outlawed in the U.S. It's an invasive species. We can't have it here. But some guy down on Monument Avenue, some rich fuck, got his hands on a Lebanese cedar, brought it over and put it in way back in the day. And it became the massive centerpiece of this front yard. And they chopped it and milled it. And even when I went to this next place to get it planed, I was like, you ever worked with Lebanese cedar? And he was like, oh, man. He's like, there's some floating around right now. It came out of some place in Monument. So it's like all the underground wood people are talking about this particular wood.
Yeah. Because it's not legal once it's cut down.
Oh, it's perfectly fine. You just can't plant it.
You
can't. It's an invasive species. They don't want you bringing it over here.
Yeah.
It's like some special thing, but it's got, and he was like, I got a little piece. So like we're back in there, like it was like we're doing a drug deal.
Yeah.
Like he takes me back in his shed and he's like, so I made this out of Lebanese cedar. And it's like this little like marine sword thing that he'd done. And he's like, smell it. So like I'm smelling it. So like we're back there, we're doing drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got this little Lebanese cedar and I'm snorting it.
Yeah.
I'm like smelling it. I was like, it smells like cedar, but it's different. And he's like, I know, right?
Exactly.
He's like, it's the primo shit. And I'm like all of a sudden his voice goes down.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he's like looking over his shoulder.
yeah. And I'm like, oh man, yeah, man. Gotta do a little more Lebanese cedar. Come on, I gotta smell it. So we're like doing Lebanese cedar out in his shed. And he was like, yeah, man. He was like, how much that guy, quote you for it? And I was like, well, that slab. And I gave him the price and we'll talk off air. And he goes, hey man, that's actually a pretty good deal on Lebanese cedar. And he's like, if it looks good, you should probably pick it up. He's like, I'd be glad to help you work on it. It's like, we can get them knots out. It'll look sharp. And I'm like, so now.
Oh, you got to be in on this.
Yeah. As soon as even Joe the chef was busting my balls when they first brought it up. I turned to him and looked at him and he's like, oh, there's a story and it sounds way more expensive than all the other wood that's here.
That's right.
He's like, I think you just found your bar top. I was like, it does check all the boxes, Joe.
Yep.
No, he knew what was up. So now I'm thinking I might have to go pick it up, which means new bar's getting built.
Nice.
New podcast studio. But first, let's hone my skills on the wife's desk.
Yes.
And make sure I'm capable of doing this. Because my confidence says, buy it all.
Yes, but let's knock that one out first. Let's not get 2 projects in. Let's finish one.
No. No, I'm with you, though.
You've been talking to Joe Chef.
No, it's coming, though. I think we're going to do live edge here on the bar.
Nice.
The pallet house will have some new wood in it.
I like it.
I bet
we've been talking about it for 8 years.
Well, now I've got
10 years.
I've got a bead on some illegal contraband.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, and it's just fucking cedar.
Yeah.
It just grows in Lebanon.
Yeah.
But it's Lebanese.
But it's cool.
Yeah, it's the coolest. And it's got a story that could date back to the damn Civil War.
Yeah.
For when this big rich fuck went ahead and planted it. Old Richmond.
I love it.
Game on.
Can't wait to hear the cost of it. We'll talk off air.
Yeah, we will. Well, let's close this down so we can talk.
Exactly.
I want to talk about it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in week after week. We do appreciate it. The 4th of July is upon us. Enjoy your 4th. Be safe out there. I know Troy wants you to be safe with any fireworks that you're doing.
Yes.
And
leave it to the professionals.
And I want you to push the limits. Troy and I don't see eye to eye here, but I do want everyone to be safe. Have a great 4th of July. It's we celebrated for some reason. I can't remember. I was actually on a work call today where there was a guy on there from England, and like they were talking, and this guy literally, he was like, "Well, I understand that we won't be working Monday and Tuesday," and he was like, Hey, Ollie, you probably don't understand this, or you probably have a very different feeling. He's like, but we're pretty damn proud of what happened on the 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
I love rubbing that in.
Yeah. He was like, so you'll be working.
Yeah.
Because you probably feel that way. That day's a little bit different. He's like, but we'll be off. So we'll get back to you on the 5th.
That's
I was
right.
like, respect for rubbing it in that dude's face.
Hell yeah. Back-to-back World War champs.
That's right. All the way back to the Revolutionary
That's
War.
right.
That's what's up. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We do appreciate it. If you haven't had an opportunity to head over to our Facebook page, you can always do so. Or you can find us if you want to send topics in at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.
That's where the topics need to go, people.
That's the spot because I check it every time. At least I can remember. It makes it much easier for us. And if you haven't had a chance to Cincinnati swap somebody, it's real easy. You just go over and you sign your friend up for the podcast that you listen to. Subscribe them, grab their phone, sign them up. They'll appreciate
That easy.
you. And if you haven't had a chance to send us any money because you got way too much of it and you want to help support the cause, you can always do so on Venmo.
At Inside the Pallet House.
We won't mind. If you're going to
Never.
spend your money on yourself, you could probably do it over at Nectar Sunglasses. Drop Abacus in the coupon code. You'll get 20% off of an already reasonably priced sunglass that's damn cool.
All their stuff, not just the sunglasses.
Oh, that's true. Shirts, hats, you name it.
Yep.
The
All
gear.
the swag.
And if you need a mortgage, head over to Screen Door Mortgage. Our man Jimmy will take care of you, assuming you live in the states that he services, mostly Georgia and Virginia. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be talking next week. Cheers.
Cheers. That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?